1, 2, start.
Hello everybody, I'm Jacob.
I'm Cynthia.
And I'm Richard.
We are Group 4 and we are covering questions 18 and 19. And specifically, we'll be explaining the birth of the Whigs up until the splitting of the Whigs. In 1834, in opposition to Andrew Jackson and his Democratic Party, the Whigs were formed. The Whigs were founded by people united through their hatred of Andrew Jackson, aka King Andrew I, to his opponents because of his high-handed policies. The name of the Whigs was inspired by the Revolution-era opposition to the British monarchy. The Whigs first emerged on the political scene in the Senate through Henry Clay and John C. Calhoun. The emergence of the party was birthed through the nullification crisis and other issues with Jackson's ways of governing in an extreme anti-federalist nature. These two men fought to stop Jackson's removal of the second bank of the U.S. Clay cemented the central beliefs of putting national interests over sectional interests, intending to use the federal government to provide states with the funds to improve roads and other necessities for transportation, which in turn would stimulate the national economy, thus making the states closer knit.
With Clay and Calhoun's opposition as a starter, the Whigs party expanded through absorbing other groups that were alienated by Jackson. Among them were the supporters of Clay's American system, which was an economic system that envisioned many policies similar to the Federalist ones, such as protective tariff. And Southerners, angered by Jackson's opposition to states' nullification rights. Northern merchants and industrialists, and many evangelical Protestants associated with the anti-Masonic party. However, since the formation of the party was mainly based on a simple common hatred, its members were very divided on various major issues. The lack of organization and union will eventually lead to the split of the Whigs later on. By 1840, a solid two-party system had taken shape in the U.S. government. Unlike the situation during Jefferson's administration, the Whigs and the Democrats were divided by real differences. While Whigs supported a national bank jointly owned by the government and private businesses, Democrats' opposing attitude was shown through Jackson's effort to remove the second bank of the U.S. The Whigs believed in a strong federal government, while Democrats emphasized on state rights. They also stood differently on the issues of protective tariff and expansion. Lastly, Whigs' policies mainly benefited the groups of people that formed the party, while Democrats promoted universal suffrage, individual rights, and the idea that anyone could hold a position in the office.
During the election of 1840, the Whigs managed to steal the election by banking on the failure of Van Buren's economic policies, which are largely just a continuation of Jackson's policies. After Jackson put an end to the second bank of the United States, there were no means of maintaining a standard currency. It was declared that all land purchases had to be made with hard money, aka silver and gold, resulting in a major financial fallout and the worst economic depression up to that point of the Union. After the election of 1840, differences between members of the Whig Party became more evident, spurring the divide of the party into different factions. The conscious Whigs and the Cotton Whigs were representations of the initial divide in the party between the Northerners and Southerners. The conscious Whigs were the Whigs from the northern states who held the moral divide over slavery and were in favor of ending the practice. At the same time, they were in favor of reconciliation with the Cotton Whigs and wanted to keep the party by de-emphasizing the argument over slavery. The Cotton Whigs were members from the South who were pro-slavery as they relied on slaves to work in plantations. The Barn Burners were a faction of the Democratic Party who were incredibly radical and refused slavery. They later combined with the conscious Whigs to form the Free Soil.
For credits, our narrators are Cynthia, Jacob, and Richard. Our slides were again Cynthia, Jacob, and Richard. And our script was yet again made by Cynthia, Jacob, and Richard.